Hello, Jenny from Trojan Webworks here. I am cheating and recording this ahead of time because I have a new little one at home who likes to remind me that schedules are not in a baby's timeline. So if you hear a little cooing or grunting in the background, that's just Brody letting us know he's here. So I thought I'd start off with just a brief overview about Trojan Webworks in general. Many of you have probably seen us at a DMAW in the past. We've been going for many years now and really enjoy it and can't wait until we can all get back together in person again. We're certainly glad to be able to do this virtual demo, but we really miss talking to everybody and seeing everybody in person. We have this constant question of, what do you guys actually do? And often you start going into a list of all the things that you do, and you quickly lose somebody because whatever you started with wasn't what they were interested in. And I was talking to a client about it the other day, and they said, well, you know what you guys do? You solve our problems. If you boil it down, that's what you guys do, and that's why we like working with you. So first and foremost, we're a website development company. That's how we got started. We do everything website. We have a standalone system that we have built that's just for DMOs, and everything that is in there is customized for a DMO and how a DMO needs to work within their website. But from that, we've built a lot of tools and a lot of services based on the problems that our clients have. So everything that is in our repertoire has been built in some way by a client saying, hey, we could really use some help with this, and we'd like it if you guys would help us with that. So we work a lot with data-driven strategy. I am a data super freak. I love data, and I hate making a decision without data. I'm sure clients are sick of hearing me say data. We have to make a decision based on data. But I think it's especially important in DMO land where we can track the TOT, but others can say there are a lot of factors that can influence the TOT. So it's important for us in evaluating our marketing strategies that we have goals and tracking systems in place that show how we are moving a user down the sales funnel. So that's something we work with clients on, and how to track the different elements on their site to see which particular design elements resonate with visitors and how we can be better at moving people down that sales funnel. That brings us to search engine marketing, which generally SEM refers to the paid side, but we think, you really have to think of both because it's search engine marketing. And I think, again, the part that a lot of people are missing with the SEM is the sheer amount of data and understanding that you can gather about your visitors. Anytime you're working on a new product or a new offering, I always encourage our clients, do the keyword research, because it's important that you're speaking the language that users are looking for. Everyone hates when I give this example, but we love as an organization to say agritourism. Here's our agritourism offering. Well, that's nice, and that's okay for us to talk about agritourism in our own industry groups, but users don't use the word agritourism. They don't understand agritourism. So if you have agritourism in your area, that's great, but you need to use the keywords that users are searching for, like farm to table or farm experiences, those sorts of things. So while, yes, you want to be targeting certain keywords and trying to reach, the top 10 in organic traffic and things like that, there's also a huge amount of data that you can use to inform your marketing strategies. So we're a little bit different in our search engine marketing offerings in that we're not just going to give you a set of keywords and say, here's what you should use. We're going to say, how can we immerse this strategy into the overall marketing strategy and help inform our decisions about where we're going to go to market, what we're going to go to market with, and how people are talking about us. And lastly, we have several business improvement tools. We have a lot of standalone systems also that you can use. Even if you don't use our website builder, we have a photo and video data asset management system, project tracking, CRM, a marketing calendar, tasks and things like that. So what we really focus on is how to help you streamline your individual business processes and use technology as a tracking system to help you save time in those processes. So that's a quick overview of all the things that we do. I have put together a little bit longer presentation that I will give you a link to at the end of this, so you can go in and see some video tutorials and see some of the actual products that we have if you're interested in any of those things. And then of course you can always contact Dusty or I to chat about any of this. So I thought if you guys were going to be so kind as to hear us out and learn a little bit more about us, that I would also try and give you some tools that you can use today. One thing, as I mentioned, is data, and SEO, especially in this weird time that we have where we're having budget issues and COVID and new things coming. I think SEO is a great place to put your efforts. So I have created a sort of SEO audit crash course that I will also include at the end of this. But I thought I would call out just two things that I really think you should be looking into, researching, and understanding in this time. The first thing is Google Analytics 4, otherwise known as GA4. This is a new analytics property that became the default property as of October 14th in 2020. If you don't already have this set up and your data at least flowing into it, I highly recommend that you do that. So you'll have your data flowing into the new property and the old property. There are a lot of changes in Google Analytics 4 about how the data comes in, how it's represented, and at some point, I believe Universal Analytics is going to be phased out and that GA4 will become all that we use. So the quicker you can get your data flowing into GA4, the quicker you'll have historic data. There is word on the street that they're going to combine the Universal Analytics historic data into GA4, but I personally have my doubts about that happening. So I strongly recommend, if you don't already have this going, talk to your developer, or you can contact me and I can help you get that up and running, but we want to have your data flowing into Google Analytics 4 as soon as possible. The second piece that I want to make sure everybody is aware of is Core Web Vitals. This is going to become a part of the SEO ranking signals in May of 2021. And so there's kind of three key areas that Google is focusing on, and I've listed those here. I think probably the most important and going to be the most impactful starting off is this cumulative layout shift. I'm sure that you guys have experienced this when you're scrolling through a website. You've started reading and then magically the screen jumps up or down and now you're not where you thought you were and you can't find it anymore. And that usually happens because an ad has loaded or an image has loaded that wasn't holding its space. And SEOs in the industry are saying that they think that Google is going to focus on this the most. In those tools that I've told you about that I put together for us, I talk about how you can evaluate this and where you can evaluate it and what you can do. But if you have not heard anything about Core Web Vitals, I strongly recommend that you talk to your developer and ask them, are they on top of this? Have they thought about this? Because Google has been telling us this is going to be coming for about a year now. So hopefully they're on top of it, but this is something you definitely want to make sure that your developer is working on. Lastly, we would like to offer the SEO audit for any of our DMAW members. And so we'll help you go through a lot of these things that we've talked about today and also a lot of the items that I've included in the SEO audit crash course. It is free to DMAW members. We'll help you get Google Analytics set up. We'll help you get started with your SERP features and where you're at with that, get you an initial keyword list. Just a really nice jumping off point for you to be running your own SEO or to work with someone else. Lastly, as promised, I've put all of these resources at this link, which I can also email out to everybody. So when we go here, you'll see I have a link to the presentation. This is the SEO tutorial that I was talking about. And then I've also listed down below just some resources that you can use as you're working on SEO. All of these are free resources that you can start utilizing today. As I mentioned, if you have any questions about any of this, please feel free to reach out to Dusty or I. We're happy to answer questions. And so feel free to use us as a resource and a sounding board. Again, thank you so much for being with us today, and we hope to hear from you soon.